On the authority of the Commander of the Faithful, Abu Hafs Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, I heard the Messenger of Allah, the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, say, actions are but by intention, and every man shall have but that which he intended. Thus, he whose migration was for Allah and His Messenger, his migration was for Allah and His Messenger. And he whose migration was to achieve some worldly benefit, or to take some woman in marriage, his migration was for that for which he migrated. It was related by the two Imams of scholars of Hadith, Abu Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ismail ibn Ibrahim ibn al-Mughira ibn Badizbah al-Bukhari, and Abu al-Hussein Muslim ibn al-Hajjaj ibn Muslim al-Kushairi and Nasaiburi, in their two Sahihin, which are the soundest of the compiled books. We learn from this Hadith 1. Actions are not acceptable without sincere intentions. 2. Every man is rewarded in accordance with his intention. 3. Actions should be devotedly performed for the sake of Allah. 4. All people will be resurrected on the Day of Judgment and brought to account according to their intentions. Also on the authority of Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, one day, while we were sitting with the Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, there appeared before us a man whose clothes were exceedingly white, and whose hair was exceedingly black. No signs of journeying were to be seen on him, and none of us knew him. He walked up and sat down by the Prophet, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, resting his knees against his, and placing the palms of his hands on his thighs, he said, O Muhammad, tell me about Islam. The Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, said, Islam is to testify that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the Messenger of Allah, to perform the prayers, to pay the zakat, to fast in Ramadan, and to make the pilgrimage to the house if you are able to do so. He said, You have spoken rightly. And we were amazed at him, asking him and saying that he had spoken rightly. He said, Then tell me about Iman. He said, It is to believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, and the last day, and to believe in divine destiny, both the good and the evil thereof. He said, You have spoken rightly. He said, Then tell me about Ihsan. He said, It is to worship Allah as though you are seeing Him, and while you see Him, not yet truly, He sees you. He said, Then tell me about the hour. He said, The one questioned about it knows no better than the questioner. He said, Then tell me about its signs. He said, That the slave girl will give birth to her mistress, and that you will see the barefooted, naked, destitute herdsman competing in constructing lofty buildings. Then he took himself off, and I stayed for a time. Then he said, O Omar, do you know who the questioner was? I said, Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, It was Gabriel, who came to you to teach you your religion. It was related by Muslim. Second Hadith. We learn from this Hadith: 1. Man should observe purity of his body and clothes, especially in meetings and gatherings. 2. A newcomer should not enter the gathering without taking the permission of the one who is in charge. He should salute those present. 3. One should not ask about trivialities or improper matters. 4. If the person who is asked does not know the answer, there is no blame on him if he says, "I do not know." On the authority of Abu Abdurrahman Abdullah, the son of Umar ibn al-Khattab, may Allah be pleased with them both, who said, "I heard the Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, say, Islam has been built on 5 pillars, testifying that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is the Messenger of Allah, performing the prayers, paying the zakat, making the pilgrimage to the house, and fasting in Ramadan." It was related by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. We learn from this Hadith: 1. Observing and performing the daily prayers regularly is a must for Muslims who want to be granted the unlimited mercy of Allah. 2. Paying zakah is a fard ayn, individual duty upon every Muslim. 3. Performing pilgrimage is a fard ayn that must be fulfilled by every Muslim who can afford it. 4. Fasting during the month of Ramadan is a fard ayn that must be fulfilled by those Muslims who are asked to. On the authority of Abu Abdurrahman Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, "The Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, and he is the truthful, the believed, narrated to us, Verily, the creation of each one of you is brought together in his mother's belly for 40 days in the form of seed. Then he is a clot of blood for a like period. Then a morsel of flesh for a like period. Then there is sent to him the angel who blows the breath of life into him, and who is commanded about 4 matters: to write down his means of livelihood, his lifespan, his actions, and whether happy or unhappy. By Allah, other than whom there is no God, verily one of you behaves like the people of paradise, until there is but an arm's length between him and it, and that which has been written overtakes him, and so he behaves like the people of hellfire, and thus he enters it. And one of you behaves like the people of hellfire, until there is but an arm's length between him and it, and that which has been written overtakes him, and so he behaves like the people of paradise, and thus he enters it. We learn from this Hadith: 1. Allah the Almighty knows what the fate of each one of us is before we are born. 2. It is the will of Allah that decides on what we finally achieve, not our good or bad deeds. 3. Though all things are predestined, people are given freedom of choice between a good thing and a bad one. 4. To be a good Muslim, one must obey the Creator with absolute faith and readiness to accept whatever befalls him without questioning. 5. No one is ever sure of his own salvation and admission into paradise. On the authority of the mother of the faithful, Abdullah Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, who said, "The Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, said, He who innovates something in this matter of ours that is not of it will have it rejected." It was related by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. In one version by Muslim it reads, "He who does an act which our matter is not in agreement with will have it rejected." We learn from this Hadith: 1. Every action not sanctioned by Allah and His Messenger is absolutely rejected. 2. Warning against legally rejected innovations and novelties in religious matters. 3. Urging Muslims to stick tightly to their religion. 4. The religion of Islam is a complete and perfect one that needs no additions whatever or extra innovations.